Hi, I am Paula Edelman, and welcome to BoomerSurf.com and the official launch of our website with our kickoff webinar on social media for Boomers Plus. The plus means for everybody who is beyond the official age of baby boomer. So thank you all for joining us for this kickoff special day. Usually credits go last, but I am starting with them. Without our team, BoomerSurf would just be a dream. I want to thank the people who made BoomerSurf possible and who believed in us since its inception. Our founding team is comprised of some of the most wonderful and dedicated people who have worked tirelessly throughout our bootstrapping efforts to make this a reality. First and foremost, our Chief Technical Officer, Peter Weistraffer. Pete and I launched a startup together many years ago, and now we have joined forces for BoomerSurf. He is the best. Second, I want to thank Maor Zellinger, who came on board to be in charge of content, but has branched out to helping with all aspects of BoomerSurf, including manning this webinar. Special thanks go to our founding team member, Ed Milewski, who has become my mentor and is our business maven. Our founding team also includes Barbara Bond, Michael Cena, Dan Gaffney, Isaac Levy, Patricia Carmel, Dorothy Kushner, and Nancy Marks, who have been with us from the beginning of BoomerSurf. And last but definitely not least are our advisors, Josh Eliasberg, Karen Weinberg, Derek Fatal, Stephen Katz, David Edelman, Jerome Smith, and Nahal Nellis. So what is BoomerSurf? BoomerSurf is a community platform to help boomers and all less tech-savvy people with navigating technology on your computers, smartphones, and tablets in a fun and productive way. We enhance your tech abilities with step-by-step tips, videos, and live free help from the community, along with our premium plans for live help from our more professional team. If you would like to join our community, click on Help Others on our homepage. You only have to be proficient in one area to qualify. So if you're really good, let's say on Skype on a PC, and love to help others, please sign up to be part of our help community. At this point, we're also building out our content and would love for you to ask questions about the topics that you are either stuck on or would like to see us address. You can do this either in the search bar or on our feedback form. We think of BoomerSurf as your friendly place to get support for all of your tech issues. And we want to make sure we cater to your needs and wants. In addition, we will have live webinars on topics that concern our age group, such as today's webinar on social media, and our next one on what to do about your phone when you're traveling out of the country. Please also send us your ideas so that we can address them in future webinars. One last fun thing that BoomerSurf is doing is starting a picture page where you can submit your pictures of you surfing on your devices, whether it be on sea or land. We would love to see them. Once we receive enough pictures, we will offer a free year of membership to the person whose pictures garners the most votes from our community. We plan to do this monthly. Let's continue having fun while we learn what special things we can do with our gadgets. Now, before I introduce our speaker, a special thanks goes to my friend Daniel Alphone, who wrote the book How to Build a LinkedIn Profile for Business Success and who also connected me with Joyce, today's speaker, and through social media. After Joyce's presentation, we will answer questions that you may have already submitted and can also submit during the webinar on the right side of your screen. If we don't get to your questions live, we will answer you by email. I am now privileged to introduce Joyce Foistel, the Boomer social media tutor, who will present this fun topic. Joyce is the founder of Boomer's Social Media Tutor, which provides social media tutoring and training. As a baby boomer herself, she especially enjoys helping other boomers to be comfortable using social media, and Joyce is also based in Denver, Colorado. And here is Joyce.
Social media can often mystify people in the baby boomer generation because we didn't grow up with it. In fact, we didn't even grow up with computers, much less all these new things out there like iPads and iPhones and all these other mobile devices. What really is social media? Most of those major social media sites like Facebook weren't even around until about 10 years ago. And most baby boomers didn't even embrace them until just the last few years. At the essence of it, social media sites provide a way for people to meet other people and interact with them. But they aren't doing this in person, they're doing it in cyberspace through the internet. How do they do this? They use their computers, their desktops or their laptops, and actually now more and more through a mobile device like a tablet or a smartphone, an iPad or an iPhone, for example. Now, baby boomers have lots of reservations about using social media. They see these young people on their smartphones all day long and they think it's a big time waster to be on social media. Another concern they have, a big concern, is privacy. They're afraid if they put something up on social media, the entire world will see. In this webinar, I'm going to address these concerns and show some things that baby boomers can do to both deal with these privacy issues and the issue of time. Now, broadly speaking, there are two types of uses for social media. We'll use Facebook. That's designed primarily for personal use, whereas LinkedIn is designed primarily for business use. There are, of course, many other popular social media sites that boomers may have heard of or maybe even use themselves. For example, Twitter. That's a type of social media that's set up for very short messages, just 140 characters in each little tweet, as they call it, which is a type of post. Twitter is really handy, though, if you want to be right abreast of breaking news. So some boomers would use it for that. Now, a second one you might have heard of or seen your kids using or your grandkids would be Instagram. Instagram is a photo-based social media site that is used almost exclusively from those mobile devices that I mentioned, the smartphones, for example. Boomers are just starting to use it a little more. And finally, Pinterest, Pinterest, a little tough to say, is often called a social site, but is actually more like a search site in a way, and people will look at it for ideas. It's very visual based. They'll look for perhaps recipes or decorating ideas. Now, there are many benefits of using social media. One of the biggest benefits is being able to stay in touch with your family and your friends. And this is especially nice when you live far away from your loved ones. Another great benefit of social media is that it helps you know more about what's going on in the community so you can be more active. Boomers like to volunteer their time, they like to be involved, especially after they retire, but even before. So this way they can be more plugged into their local community. And a third great benefit of social media is to stay current on news and events from the local to the national, even the international level. Though some boomers are still reading newspapers, myself included, they are turning more and more to social media to get their news. What can we do on social media? There are many things we can do, and we'll just hit the highlights. One of the favorite things that people use it for is to share photos, videos, and other visuals using Facebook and the other social media sites. People are very visually oriented, and they like to be entertained or inspired by visuals. That, again, like I said, could be these photos or videos. One of the reasons I think that boomers are so keen on YouTube is because, of course, the video is just unnatural for them. One other thing, or a second thing really, that you can use social media for is to share information. Perhaps you have a go-to website or a blog that you follow a lot. You want to share the link to that website or that blog with your connections on, say, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever site you use. All you have to do is copy and paste those little words and characters in the top left-hand corner of the screen, and then you copy it from there and you paste it over into the place where you're going to make the post. Now, if you don't know how to copy and paste, I know there's some of you out there that probably don't, go to the BoomerSurf website because it's got a really nifty little video that shows you exactly how to do that. And finally, many people really appreciate the convenience of social media, where they can have this audience right out there to share information. No more days of scrolling down through your email address book thinking, oh, let's see, who should I send this information to? Not to worry, I'll just post it on Facebook, and those who are interested will likely find it. Well, now we're going to shift over to Facebook in particular and think about things that are nice to do on Facebook. Number one thing, connect and reconnect with family and friends. So many of us boomers, I know myself included, have moved around within, in my case, the USA. Maybe they've even moved to other countries. And it's easy to lose touch with people when you move like that. Now, one of my favorite stories about reconnecting occurred when Paula Edelman of BoomerSurf posted a photo of her new grandson up on Facebook. As it happens, two of her Facebook friends commented on the post of this little baby. And one of them noticed the name of this other poster, this other friend of Paula's. Oh my gosh, that was a woman she had completely lost touch with. And you know what helped for her to know that it really was that woman? Was that woman had used her maiden name as part of her Facebook name, as had the person who was noticing this old friend. And you know what? They got back in touch, and now they're so happy after all these years to be close with each other again, at least through cyberspace, all because of their mutual connection with Paula. Now, when you see these posts, you can comment like these ladies did on Paula's grandbaby. We have a slide here, just a picture of me and my husband just went up to the Rocky Mountains. We live here in Colorado. And a nice person there at this lake we hiked up to said, hey, I'll take your picture. So my husband put it up on his Facebook page and copied me so I could show up on my page too. He tagged me. So there it is on both of our pages. And then our respective friends noticed the picture. We have something like 100 people just noticed it, and some commented like, boy, I wish I was there with you in the Rocky Mountains. Now, what you can do sometimes besides just comment is simply like. Just click on that little word that says like, which more or less just means, oh, I saw that. That was nice that happened. Now, you can also, as was mentioned earlier, share videos, articles, and photos through social sites, and they're often done through Facebook. Now, there's a couple of features I want to especially mention that you might not really think of. One is kind of obvious, but maybe not so much. And that is the idea how our news feed, it's two words, news feed, is a place, a handy place where all these posts made by our friends are just in one place on our Facebook. And all you have to do is click on home there at the top of your screen is next to your first name. And whenever you click on home, then presto magico, there is your newsfeed right there in the middle of the page. You can't miss it. We have a sample right there. No longer do you have to think, oh, I have to call someone or wait for an email. Say your friend's child is expecting a baby. Well, you just wait, and just one day, lo and behold, that post will be right there in your newsfeed. All your friends, all the posts right in one place. Now, that's a time saver right there. But you know what? Sometimes our friends post just way too much. Or we might even find out that a friend is on a whole different end of the political spectrum than we are, and they are just posting topics and maybe even mean-spirited things that you don't even want to see anymore. What to do? Here is a cool idea. You can call it, in a way, a friendly unfriend. What you do is you don't really unfriend this person. That could get awkward because later you may show up as a possible friend and that person goes, I thought I was friends with Joyce. Wonder what's going on. No, you can avoid doing that. What you do is you type in their name in the search box and you go over to that little place where it says friends. There's a button that says friends, and then next to it is a button that says following. Then you take your cursor and you click on the little arrow to the right of following, and you have 3 options. The one we're looking for in this case is the third one. It says unfollow. So say there was a guy named Bob and I didn't want to be following his post. I would click on unfollow Bob. Now, Bob is not notified. You might be wondering about that. No, Bob is not notified. So again, you go to following, the box to the right of friends, click on the little arrow, go down and click the third option, unfollow the name of your friend. Now, the sweet thing is, you won't see any more of these annoying posts. But if you're interested in Bob, like just randomly, I want to see what's up with him, you can always go over to his page because you're still friends and see anything new and exciting with Bob or whoever your friend is. And they can see all your posts. So isn't that sweet? Don't cause any problems that way. Now we're going to shift over to LinkedIn. Now, many boomers are still in the workforce. Probably we haven't saved enough, some of us, and we'll be working for a long time. But at any rate, some of us are still working. Maybe some, like me, have retired from a regular day job and formed a business. Either case, they're going to want to be involved with LinkedIn, LINK, capital IN. You may or may not have heard of it. It's a very handy website. You can also use it, by the way, if you're involved in a service club or some other volunteer organization, professional organization that maybe you even stay on involved with after you retire. So what you can do is connect with business colleagues or any kind of colleagues that you want to stay connected to. Now, here's a cool story, again, going back to Paula. I had saw a gentleman's post, I think it was through Google+. Any rate, it was very interesting. And I read about him and I thought I should connect with him on LinkedIn. So I did. This gentleman, Daniel, turns out is a personal friend of Paula's. How about that? And when he heard that I was focusing on boomers for my social media tutoring, he said, oh my goodness, you've got to meet my friend Paula. So we connected, and then do you know what? I was even Skyping with Paula, and I hardly even know how to Skype. Boy, I'll tell you, she has really brought my technology much higher than it was just by knowing her. So isn't that neat that we two people can find each other that way through this mutual person? So that's connecting colleagues. Now, a second thing you can do is promote your business. So say you have a business like Paula does and I do. What's great about LinkedIn is that it gives you lots of space to do that. Unlike Facebook, where your page has got this little skimpy area where you can put what your business is about, LinkedIn gives you lots of space to tell your story. You can have your picture there and then a little headline like you're seeing on the slide, and that gives you just a little shortened version of what you're all about. You can put a tagline in for a business, use some keywords. Keywords means, those words you use when you go searching on Google or your other search sites to find some services. So LinkedIn will really help your business get more visibility through these searches. Make sure to use just the right words that people search for. A third thing you can do on LinkedIn is establish or enhance even your professional credibility. LinkedIn has got an awesome tool called recommendations. What recommendations are testimonials where people that have known you in whatever capacity it is, your business, or maybe it was in volunteer leadership, these people write a short testimonial to attest to the fact that you're good at what you do. Now, as you can tell, I'm a big fan of Paula. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for her. So I recently wrote her this little testimonial, again called a recommendation. And you see just the beginning of that there on the screen. And then she also has a great testimonial from Ed Malofsky. And he's a great person to have because of his great background in technology. Wow, that's a feather in Paula's cap to have a recommendation from Ed. So you see how easy that is? And asking someone for that kind of testimonial is not that hard to do. Don't get overwhelmed, because I know LinkedIn can feel a sort of intimidating because you haven't used it, say like you probably have used Facebook. But it is more user-friendly than you might think. Now, in the last section of the webinar, we're going through 3 steps, which I recommend you do whenever you start with a social media site. Now, again, we're going to really a beginning point here. The first thing you do is to put in some information about yourself. Now, again, people worry about that whole privacy thing. Please just put the information in that you want the world to see. Don't put any more, any less. You can always add to it if you want to, or subtract. Now, the example we're showing here is how you do this on Facebook. So let's say you have your basic Facebook account set up and you think, oh, I want to add information. Perhaps I'm going to put where I last worked. So you click on the About tab. Where is that About tab? It's just to the right of the tab that says Timeline, kind of to the left-hand side of the screen, right near where your name is. So now you found the About tab. You click on that, and then will be a screen where you can complete information. Work and education. You can put the cities you've lived in, information about yourself. Again, just to the level you want to. So that's helpful so people know it's you. Especially, I think, if you have a common name, people are wondering, I wonder if that's really so-and-so. And then they read through that little bit of information, and they think, that's the person I thought it was. So that's putting in personal information. Now, another important thing, as we've discussed more than once already, is privacy. Privacy is critical for everyone, but especially us baby boomers. Now, Facebook has done a handy thing, I think, in giving you something called a privacy shortcuts. Where do you find these privacy shortcuts? Now, go back to the top of your Facebook screen and notice that you see your name. You're going to see little silhouettes. You'll see another little thing that looks kind of like comic strips, where people speak, but then you'll see the globe. And next to the globe, to the right of the globe, is a little, like a padlock with 3 little lines to the right, a padlock. You click on that icon, and then you will see several options. And at the top, it says privacy shortcuts. So that's where you've landed. Now, a really important thing to do that you can do right here from the shortcut is determine who will see, they call it your stuff, who will see your stuff. And click on that little box. It says that. Now look in there. See if the word friends occurs in that little box. And there'll be a little arrow to the right of that little box. If it doesn't say friends, if I were you, I'd click on that little arrow and scroll till you see the word friends and just click on friends. Most people want their friends to see their post, not the public, not the public. So again, we're getting back to the privacy issue. That's what this is all about. Finally, what is social media if you aren't social? I mean, it's not a website, right? It's about connecting with other people. How do you find these other people? There is a search box. Just like with websites where you see a search box, all social media sites will have a search box. Now, in the case of Facebook, we'll keep using that as our example. In the top left is the little white box, and there's got the Facebook icon to the left. Type in the name of the friend you're looking for. Now, just as an example to create this slide, Paula typed in the name Mayor, M-A-O-R. And lo and behold, right there, the very first option was the mayor she was looking for. So she clicks on that box with his name, and then she scrolls over to where it says add friend. And we have that there in the slide. There's a little button that says add friend. After you clicked on that, then the screen will say friend request sent. So you know how sometimes we get forgetful? We think, oh, I wonder if I sent that friend request to whoever. You can always look up their name, go to their page, and there it will say friend request sent. Now, don't go into a panic if people don't accept it right away, because, lots of baby boomers don't spend much time on Facebook. So, a week might go by before someone accepts it. And if they don't accept it, I really advise you not to take it personally. Maybe they don't consider you the type of close friend that they want to have in their circle on Facebook, which really goes back to an overall point is when you're making decisions about who to be friends with on Facebook, who to connect with on LinkedIn, any of these things, think through who is the person whose news I really want to see in my newsfeed. Don't connect with people just because they've sent you a friend request. If you see someone from a former job or a town you lived in and you really could care less about hearing what's up with them, just click on ignore request because you will get these requests coming into you as well. Now, in this webinar, we have done several things. We started out by giving you an overview of social media. Address the fact that baby boomers have reservations about social media, so we showed you some benefits, the benefits you can have by using social media. And we provided you some practical tips to show you how to find that news feed, how to do that friendly unfollow or friendly unfriend that is a follow actually. All of that to show that these social media sites have so much to offer and there's ways to use them to meet your needs. To get information about social media, we can help you with that, either BoomerSurf or myself. Here you can see an email address and phone numbers to reach the great folks at BoomerSurf or to reach myself, Joyce Foistel, with Boomer's Social Media Tutor. Well, it's been a pleasure offering this information to you today. I hope you've gotten at least one or two ideas about using social media. And if nothing else, feel a little less intimidated and a little more comfortable about using these wonderful new tools that, frankly, I'm telling you, at age 66, I'm just so glad that I'm around to see them develop and make the best of them. Thanks so much for this webinar.
I hope you enjoyed this webinar and learned something fun and interesting from Joyce's presentation of social media for Boomers Plus. Our webinars are free, and we want to keep it this way. So we're inviting you to join BoomerSurf and our BoomerSurf community for only $7 a year in order to partake of all of our webinars and in addition to having access to our live help. The tips and videos and all additional information on the site are free, whether you are a member or not. Our first webinar will always be available for members and non-members to view. All of our videos will be on our YouTube library on our site, so you can view them as often as needed once you become a member of BoomerSurf. Remember, it's only $7, about the cost of 2 cups of Starbucks coffee. Since we have bootstrapped or worked for satisfaction, we would love to have you join for only $7, along with any additional financial support you would like to give to help us grow quicker. You can do this through our homepage where it says Support BoomerSurf, and then donate. With this additional money, we will be able to continue to offer the best content, along with important webinars for free, and to keep our live support fees as low as possible. We intend to keep our community support for free with voluntary tipping for your helper. We are also affiliated with Amazon, and anything you buy from Amazon from our site helps BoomerSurf. Pressing on the Amazon icon at the bottom of our homepage takes you directly to your Amazon account, as long as you're on your own device. You will know you are on your own account because you will see your name at the top right of your Amazon screen. Once again, thank you for being here, and I hope to see you at our next webinar and get to know you better with your participation on BoomerSurf. Thank you. Bye.